So Bret, the best looking one yet, was born and raised in Denver. Bret attended Grandview High School and earned a BA from Washington University. He's an active supporter of Colorado Public Radio, Jewish Colorado Goodwill, and Habitat for Humanity. In his free time, Bret enjoys beer tasting, fine restaurants, skiing, camping, traveling, reading, and spending time with his wife and two adorable children. Bret runs BSW Real Estate, and they have a very special purpose, which I'm hoping he'll tell us about.
My whole goal is that Jess doesn't have to stand up while I'm up here, so as long as she doesn't have to pull me off stage, I feel like I've won. Does anybody have something that they wanted to hit on or that they wanted to learn about before I start going? Also, that was really funny, so I don't know why nobody laughed. Do I need to start off with a joke? Would that help? Okay. Did you guys hear about the kid napping yesterday? He woke up. Because the kid was napping, and then he woke. Okay, so is there anything that anybody wants me to hit on that they haven't feel like they've heard today or that they wanted specificity on? Yeah, please.
Okay, so I would like, because I've been hearing a lot of different things, and I would like any insights on where we might be headed in terms of the real estate market.
Okay.
Not just this year, but beyond.
Perfect. Okay, then let's start with Megan Aller. Okay, so Megan's presentation for us can be if you're listing a house, seems like the best thing ever. If you're newer in this industry, or even if you're listing, it's scary as hell. Like it presents that this is a market that has the highest buyer concentration. We've got a ton of listings, but there's so much demand. Everything is over. This is the end. Oh my God, we should just leave. Couple things are happening right now, and I disagree with Megan all the time, and so she's not going to be upset or offended by the fact that I'm disagreeing with her on a few of these things. Interest rates have gone up and have gone up substantially. For those of us who have been in the market for a while, we recognized about 2 to 3 weeks ago that the market started to shift. Is that fair? Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of people who are nodding their heads yes. How long does it take the public to realize that the market is shifting? Typically for me, it's somewhere in the range of 2 months. We start to see reports of it 30 days later. The market has shifted. So now my house was listed. It went under contract. It sold 30 days later. I listed it in February. It sold in March. So we're seeing all this information from March, but we're in April now. And if I was a buyer in March and now it's a month later, and March 3rd, I was super, super excited about this house. I called Jess. Jess, what were rates on March 3rd? 4.5, 4.25, somewhere in there. Okay, I am pumped. Jordan came up. You were a pastor. It was just, and you have the walk and the whole thing is amazing. But I go to Jordan's listing because he found a counselor. Side note, don't get people counselors. Never do that. Don't get a counselor for people. That's too much. But I call Jess right now and I say, hey Jess, I am so pumped about this house. I know that we're 4.25, 4.5. Where are we right now? So my rate's now 5.25. So I was fortunate enough, I have Megan Aller on speed dial. I can tell you that half point cost around $40,000 of purchasing power. Maybe a little bit more, okay? So all of a sudden, I thought I was gonna buy this house. I thought everything was great, but I'm operating on a March timeframe. Now it's April. I'm trying to buy this house. I just lost $40,000 of purchasing power. My monthly payment has gone up a decent amount. $100, $200 makes a big difference to people. Let's not minimize this. Within this market, these numbers are so outrageous and so large. I never focus on the purchase price whenever I'm working with the buyer. My goal is to focus on the monthly payment because that's what they live with for the next 30 years. It's not the purchase price. You do a purchase price and a down payment once, but if you can't afford that monthly payment, you're shit out of luck. That's it. So we recognize now in April that we've gone up a half point, 3/4 point. Oh God, maybe I'm gonna readjust my search, or maybe I'm gonna leave the market. And so that puts us into a position right now where the general public takes about 2 months, because when people start to leave, now news is reporting on it. And those articles are gonna come out 30 days later. So it takes about 2 months for the public to catch up. Us as agents have started to recognize the market is starting to shift. Okay, so really great agents, right? I'm listing this house for $900,000. We thought we were going to get 20 offers. This was 2 weeks ago, 2.5 weeks ago. We got 3 offers. First offer came in at 900. Side note, I list a lot of properties. I panic all the time, every time. So if you have a listing and you don't have offers on it and you started showings yesterday, please know I'm panicking with you. I'm very empathetic. It makes me very uncomfortable. But we had 900, so an offer comes in at 950. An offer comes in at 1.05, and we sold it at 115 for cash. We had 3 offers. Everyone was assumptive we had 20 offers. We didn't. We had 3. When the market starts to catch up and realize, when we start to catch up and realize, when we start to ask better questions and put ourselves into a position of more knowledge, when we recognize that, the market will start a correction, and will start a correction substantially sooner. So my guess is, and this is where Megan and I disagree, I think April will still see appreciation. I think in May we'll start to see the market dip a little bit. I think we'll start to see that happening. I think that if you're working with buyers in the next 2 to 3 weeks, you should be able to get a buyer under contract. I don't think that you're going to be competing against 20 offers. I don't think the market is the same as it has felt. So realistically, be optimistic. Guys, this market hasn't been healthy. When we're talking about 13 to 15% year over year of appreciation, that's great for a seller. That's wonderful. And what is 64% of people are homeowners, something like that? Is that give or take the number? I think it dropped a little bit. That's great for them, but for everybody else, that sucks. This is awful. We don't want to see our appreciation happen this quickly, because that's why we consistently have these conversations about bubbles. That's why we're consistently talking about how bad this industry is and how terrible it is. And if you have recognition that this market's shifting, and it is shifting, and it's shifting right now, there's going to be a lot more opportunity. So please be optimistic about it. Please know that your buyers are going to have a much more of a chance. So that turns into sellers, which means that when you're listing a property, you don't list your property at the highest amount that you possibly can. You list your property. A bunch of properties sold at 900. The last property sold at 950. I'm going to list at 900. I'm not going to list at 950 because I'm not going to be the one who's sitting there for 2 or 3 weeks with my seller's expectations. So that's what I think is going to happen with the market. I think it's happening right now. I think the market has already shifted. I think we've never seen interest rates go up this quickly, at least not within a market like this, in tandem with appreciation going up 13 to 15%. So that's where I think the market is. So that's my first 2 cents. Is there anything else that people want me to dive? Yeah, please, go for it.
I feel that the rental increases are feeding into that too. We have clients who are panicking, first-time home buyers, but I really do feel like if they don't get in now, they may not.
I think that there's going to be a chance that they get in later. I think that it might be a year, it might be 2 years. I think that, for right now, if I'm listing, I don't think it's the best time to list anymore. I think the best time to list was a month and a half ago. But I'm still going to list right now because I'm not going to wait for prices to decrease. If we look at Megan Aller's stats, every single year, is it June, Megan, or July? July. Every single year, July is when prices start to decrease. We forget this. We go up 16%, we end the year up 12. Every single year. We go up 15%, we end the year up 9. We're under this assumptive thing that because we're always going up, that it goes up the entire year. That's not correct. Prices do come back down. They just end up substantially higher than where we were. So for renters, it's going to get ugly. So whatever they can grab onto, they should grab onto right now. Let's circle back to what I'm supposed to be talking about, and I'll dive and hopefully that if there's other things that people want to hit on, let me know. I talk fast. Let's see. Our industry sucks. Okay. We are racing very quickly towards the lowest common denominator. We're not working to educate ourselves. So please take a second, look left, look right, look at the people around you. These are people who are choosing to educate themselves, so kudos to you for coming to events like this. I hope that you got a takeaway. I certainly did. Kylie and Connie, Grant, Jordan, Megan, always, Jess. I looking at all the stuff you guys offer, it's amazing. But hopefully you're getting takeaways, but the majority of our market isn't here. The majority of our market isn't here to learn. They're not trying to get better. So let's circle back to that question. How do you get listings? How do you get more business? Everyone should know 3 fundamental questions. You should be able to answer these in your sleep. If you can't, find an expert to help you. Those 3 questions. What's going on with the market today? Interest rates are at 5.5. If we look at DMAR's market trend stats, we're up 20%. They said that it's 9%. Megan does not like DMAR's market stats. Her stats are substantially more accurate, but nonetheless, that's what's getting reported on in the news, not Megan. So we're up 20%. We're at 5 to 5.25% of interest rate. We're in a position where the market is shifting. You need to know that. Know what's happening with the market today. Know how we got here. If you don't know about construction defects and what that did to our market and the lack of inventory, that's something that you need to learn about. If you don't understand what the shortage of labor and material has been doing to us over the last few years, that's something that you need to know about. If you don't understand how net positive migration is to not only the Denver Metro, but to Colorado, that's something that you need to understand. And you need to be able to talk about it. So if you don't know, go research. And the third thing, know your market, know how we got here. The third piece is know how to talk about it to whoever you're with. You need to know how to talk about it to a buyer, a seller, an investor, a random person, because if you get really, really good at those three pieces, you can get listings, you can get buyers, and you can get business anywhere. It's just those three. Be an expert. Keep in mind, our industry sucks, right? Like at the end of the day, how many people have called somebody, and if everyone doesn't raise their hand, I'm gonna be so pissed that, because you're clearly on your phone then. How many people have called somebody and not gotten a response in our industry? If you're on your phone, just look up, raise your hand, it's okay, take stock, it's fine. We're not trying to get better, and what that means that is if you're an expert, if you're getting better, it may not work today, it may not work right away for you, you may not start to get listings and leads and everything today, but if you start to do this and you do this with consistency over and over and over, and you become an expert, I promise you that you will have business and it will come to you. I am not organized. These two are taking notes on everything I'm saying right now. Just very these two are the most organized people in the entire world. I'm not. I pay babysitters to make sure that I'm like, I wouldn't have been here today if someone hadn't reminded me. I'm that bad. I do one monthly market video, and I consistently have these conversations where I know what I'm talking about with the market, and that's enough for me to get business. And it's taken me 10 years to get here, but that's where my business is coming from. If you can do this in a shorter time frame and stay organized and build systems and have consistency follow-up, if you can, like Grant said, have a presence, create your presence. You're in real estate. I hate to say it, but within this industry, presence becomes a really big thing. Jordan mentioned it today to me that, you know how you know a realtor is successful? He shows up in a t-shirt and jeans. I dressed up today because I knew I was on video, man. This is as good as it's gonna get. You'll notice that I'm wearing the exact same blazer, feasibly the same jeans. I put on new shoes though, so what's up? But like, create a presence. Who are you gonna be? How are you gonna be that expert? How are you gonna be that person? How are you gonna present yourself in general to the market? But making sure that you have a presence that you're gonna live by. Mine is that I'm the fucking expert. I know what I'm talking about. I know what's happening with the market, which means that my clients will call me even when I'm not reaching out to them to say, hey, can you tell me what's going on? Just because I'm doing social media. That's all. I'm bad at calling people. I'll throw client events once a quarter. I should get much better at this. I'll just have whatever events you guys do, just tell me and I'll do them. But it's one of those pieces where like I'm not that organized, but that's who I'm supposed to be. That's my presence. Jordan mentioned that you need to have a mindset. So craft your mindset. You can make up whatever mindset that you want. Make sure that it's an authentic one, but you can craft a mindset of who you're going to be. Are you going to be the one who's calling people every single day? Are you going to be the person who does leads and is a churn and burn? And that's okay. There's a lot of those people in the industry. That's not my style, but maybe it's yours. But figure out what is my mindset. How am I going to be consistent within this industry? I'm jumping all over the place. Let me see if I can hone back in a little bit. I think it was the picture in the blazer. I actually noticed that earlier. Let's talk about systems really quick. If you're a brand new agent, or if you're the most experienced agent with the team, you should do the exact same thing. Build systems. So there should be a template for everything that you are going to do. Everything that you plan on doing, even if you've never done it. How much longer do I have? Oh shit, well, just don't stand up yet then, I got it. All right, so really quick with those systems. If I'm gonna list a house, I'm gonna have a stager, I'm gonna have a cleaner, I'm gonna have templates of introducing my team of what they're going to do. I'm going to build out my marketing. I'm going to have an email for what it's going to look like when I am first meeting with those people. Here's my introduction email. Here's my next email. Here's what's going to happen. And I'm going to build out templates. If you don't have templates and you want some, shoot me an email. I'll send you every template that I have. I don't care. Happy to share. Everybody does business in their own way. I got nothing else. I've got plenty else, but 13 seconds. She's not going to stand up. Thank you very much, guys. Hopefully it was helpful.